Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Secure and Soar, the CEO's Guide to Cybersecurity and AI Success. My name is Earl Kelly, CEO of Cydian Group, bringing you over 30 years of technology experience and insight from my days as a former CIO of a large insurance agency. As your award-winning Cyber Evangelist, I'm here every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern to help you stay always on and always ahead. Now, if you're a CEO, a business owner, or a leader who's trying to cut through the noise in technology and get down to what really matters, you are in the right place. My mission every week is simple: to give you the truth without the fluff so that you can make better decisions that protect your profits, your people, and your reputation. So here's our roadmap for today. First, I'll give you a little background on who I am and why I'm here. Then we'll cut through the noise and talk about the real signal in cybersecurity and AI right now. We'll look at who this impacts, what it costs, and most importantly, what you actually control. Then I'll show you how you can leverage all of this, not just to protect yourself, but to actually grow your business. And after that, I'll share an important call to action. We'll bust this week's AI myth, and then give you a live demo of some truly cutting-edge AI in action. Then finally, we'll circle back to what your next steps should be. And for those of you who may be new here, I'm Earl Kelly, and I've been in technology for over 3 decades. Yes, that makes me sound really old, but it's true. And before founding Cydian Group, I served as a CIO for a large insurance agency. Now, at Cydian Group, we specialize in helping growth-minded CEOs in industries like legal, insurance, and small to mid-sized businesses nationwide. We don't just install firewalls and hope for the best. We protect profits, we enhance reputations, and we harness AI so that your teams can operate smarter, faster, and more securely. We're based right here in Jacksonville, Florida, and between myself and my team, we bring over 75 years of combined technology experience. In short, we have seen it all, and our goal is to make sure that you don't have to learn the hard way. So let's talk about the signal beyond the noise. Because let's face it, every week you're bombarded with headlines about hacks, breaches, AI breakthroughs, and more doom scrolling than you can possibly stomach. But what's the real signal for business leaders like you? Well, here it is. Cyber attacks are at an all-time high, and they're getting smarter. Almost 50% of all cyber attacks now target small businesses. Nearly 70% of small businesses reported at least one attempted breach this year, and yet only 18% say they feel prepared. Now think about that. 8 out of 10 business leaders right now are basically admitting they're walking into a fight unarmed. And when an attack happens, the average downtime after a ransomware event this year is 24 days. That's nearly a full month without being operational. A month of lost productivity, a month of lost revenue, and lost customer trust. But here's the part that should keep you up at night. Hackers aren't just coming at you with brute force anymore. They're using AI to supercharge their attacks. Deepfake phone calls that sound exactly like your CFO, AI-crafted phishing kits that sail right past all of your filters, and automation that can blast out attacks at hundreds of companies simultaneously, looking for just that one weak employee who's going to click that link. So this is what's really going on. And let me ground all this in reality with a few examples. This week, Australian Airlines Qantas disclosed another major data leak due to a misconfiguration in their systems, exposing personal data of thousands of passengers. That included names, flight details, loyalty program information. This incident highlights how even established companies in critical sectors can fall victims to simple oversights. And I believe this is the second breach for Qantas this year. I'd have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure it was the second one. Meanwhile, hackers linked to the CLOP ransomware group, yes, they have a group, they're very organized, but the CLOP ransomware group, they've been exploiting a zero-day vulnerability in Oracle. Now, you might say, I'm not worried about Oracle. We don't use Oracle. Well, they've been in this using this vulnerability in Oracle since August, breaching dozens of organizations worldwide that use Oracle. So this supply chain style attack has led to data exfiltration and ransomware demands and is affecting industries from manufacturing to finance, all of who use Oracle. In healthcare, Methodist Homes of Alabama and Northwest Florida reported a breach impacting nearly 26,000 individuals with sensitive data like names, social security numbers, and medical records compromised through unauthorized access to their network. And according to the latest Arctic Wolf 2025 Human Risk Report, 68% of IT leaders say their organization suffered a breach in the last year. That's a sharp increase, with risky AI behaviors and overconfidence in phishing defenses cited as the key contributors. But I don't tell you these stories to scare you. I tell you them because they're not hypothetical. They happen every single day, every single week to companies just like yours. So who does this really impact? Well, the truth is it impacts everyone, but it hits small businesses hardest. Why? Because we run super lean. We don't have room for error, and we don't have giant IT teams just waiting on the sidelines. So here's a sobering statistic for you. More than 60% of small businesses that experience a major cyber incident close their doors within 6 months. That means for many, it's not just a bad week, it's absolutely game over. So now let's talk about the cost. Well, we're not just talking about downtime. We're talking about regulatory penalties, lawsuits, brand damage, and yes, even leadership turnover. The cost of a cyber incident today ranges anywhere from $150,000 on the low end to over $2.2 million on the high end. I can tell you one professional services firm that spent $65,000 just on recovery. But the real loss there wasn't the money. They lost their top 4 clients because their trust was shaken. And once that trust is gone, it's incredibly hard to get back. But here's the good news. You can't stop threats from existing, but you can absolutely control how your business responds. You can control how quickly you adapt. You can control who you choose as your partner, and you can control how seriously you take cybersecurity and AI. The right partner doesn't just bring security. They bring speed, they bring efficiency, and they bring trust. And here's the exciting part that often gets overlooked. Cybersecurity and AI aren't just defensive tools, they're growth tools. One of our legal clients recently invested in a cybersecurity upgrade, but instead of hiding it in the IT closet, they put it front and center in their proposals. They literally said, here's how we protect your sensitive data. The result, they won 2 new corporate contracts worth about $300,000 annually. And that's the difference between looking at security as an expense versus leveraging it as a competitive edge. Now, before we move into our AI myth of the week and our demo, let me pause here and invite you to something I call the Cyber AI Profit Session. Here's how it works. We'll sit down with you and your leadership team. We'll assess your risk. We'll run a dark web scan to see if your employee credentials are already out there. We'll simulate a phishing attack and then show you how to harness AI to run faster and safer. Now, let me set some expectations for you. So I'm not going to tell you that this is for everyone because it's not. If you're perfectly happy flying blind, if downtime and lost clients don't really concern you, then I don't think you should call me. But if you'd like clarity on where your risks are, if you'd like to see practical ways that AI can actually make your team more efficient, then this session is designed for you. Fair enough? Well, you can book it at cydian.group/risk, or you can call us directly at 904-907-8503. Again, that number is 904-907-8503. Now, it is October and it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but it's also Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So let me give you a cybersecurity tip. Don't scan QR codes that you don't recognize. However, you're going to notice that I put a QR code on the screen just for ease of use. You can be assured that it is safe, but it is on the screen if you'd like to snap a picture of that as well. Now, keep in mind, this again is not a tech conversation. So it's about business growth. So we won't be talking about tech during these sessions. We'll be talking about growth of your business. So now let's bust our AI myth of the week. So our myth today is that AI will eliminate all cyber threats and make human oversight obsolete. And that could be the furthest from the truth. The truth is that while AI is a powerful ally in cybersecurity, it is not a silver bullet that replaces human expertise. In fact, attackers are currently using AI to evolve threats faster than ever, and AI defenses can be fooled or bypassed without proper governance. Wow, I can't talk today. Governance. Recent reports show that while AI detects anomalies effectively, over 70% of successful breaches still involve human error or social engineering that AI alone can't prevent. For example, in the CL0P Oracle exploits that we talked about earlier, AI tools helped in initial detection for some, but human misconfiguration allowed for the breach. And a study by Arctic Wolf found that risky employee behaviors with AI tools contributed to a rise in breaches, emphasizing the need for training and strategy alongside tech. So the real risk isn't avoiding AI, it's deploying it without human-led policies, monitoring, and response plans. That's why Cydian leads with an AI risk assessment. We will assess what you're doing with AI and make sure that you're doing it safely. So let's bring this to life with a demo. So instead of complex setups, let's focus on something every business leader can use today. We're going to build a quick cybersecurity checklist. Now, normally, creating a tailored cybersecurity checklist for your small business might take hours of research or consulting fees. But here's what you can do in under 5 minutes with AI. So I'm going to open up Today, we're going to open up Gemini. Now, every week we use a different AI tool. Sometimes we use ChatGPT, sometimes we use Grok. Today, I'm going to pick on Gemini. So I'm going to create a simple cybersecurity checklist for a small business CEO, focusing on common threats like phishing, ransomware, and data leaks. So what I'm going to do is I am going to copy my prompt. Again, same thing I just said, right? Create a simple cybersecurity checklist for a small business CEO, focusing on common threats like phishing, ransomware, and data leaks. Keep it actionable and prioritized. I'm going to hit go, and in seconds, AI is going to generate a checklist covering steps like enabling multi-factor authentication, regular backups, employee training, and software updates. And if I want to make this even more useful, I can follow up with format this as a one-page guide, and I can share it with my team. Right? Now, what used to require expert input is now instant. So this empowers SMB leaders to implement quick wins and build stronger security posture without overwhelming your resources. And this isn't just about checklists. It's about democratizing cybersecurity knowledge so that you can act faster and smarter. So you'll see here, this gives me a really quick checklist, and then I can actually export it into sheets, and it makes a actionable spreadsheet. I don't think you can see my spreadsheet, so I will change this. Let's see. All right, there we go. So you'll see it made it into an actionable spreadsheet so that I can send this out to my team. and make sure that they have implemented these steps. Right? Very, very simple, very easy to deploy. So let's circle back. So we've talked about the risk, we've looked at some real world examples, and we've seen how AI is both a threat and an opportunity. And we've looked at what the future could hold. So here's my question to you. Do you want to keep reacting to technology, or do you want to get ahead of it? Because if you want to get ahead, the next step is super simple. Schedule your cyber AI profit session. We'll help you uncover risk you may not even know about. We'll show you where your team is vulnerable, and we'll map out how AI can be your growth multiplier, not a liability. Now, if we meet and it's not a fit, no harm done. You'll walk away with more clarity than you had before. But if it's a fit, then you'll have a roadmap to make your business stronger, safer, and more profitable. So, is that worth a conversation? I think so. You can book at cydian.group/risk, or you can give me a call at 904-907-8503. And again, I'm going to stress that this is not a tech conversation. This is a business growth conversation. So give us a call, 904-907-8503. Thanks so much for joining me today. I do appreciate the time that you take with me every week. We are here at 11 a.m. on Wednesdays. Stay secure, stay smart, and as always, keep soaring. I'll see you right here next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And as I say every week, be absolutely kind to everyone. Have a great day.